Hi, parents and families. Welcome to my Managing Parenting Frustrations. Why? So your kids will do more than just comply so they can thrive. I am so excited about this masterclass where I'm going to teach you guys about what is triggering you and how to manage that. So before we get started, a little bit about me. So I'm Victoria Valdez. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist here in the state of Tennessee. And I'm also a parenting coach. I'm the owner and founder of Victoria Valdez Child and Family Counseling Services. I've got over 14 years of experience servicing children, teens, parents, and families. And I specialize helping those that have anxiety, trauma, grief and loss, and ADHD. I'm trained to work with other things, but those are my specialty. That's my niche. I also specialize in helping parents who are parent in a healthy way, those who are co-parenting, and just overall parenting stuff by being a parent coach. I'm also the owner and founder of Not Your Average Parenting Institute, where that is for parenting neurodivergently, for parents who identify as neurodivergent and they've got neurodivergent kiddos. And so I'm also the founder of that. I'm so excited to get to the meat of this course. All right, we're going to go over how does the anger work? What is it that pisses us off as a parent? How to keep cool when you feel like you're about to pop off. Creating that game plan, right? And tips for when it's showtime and it's time to shine and things don't really go according to plan. And then I'm going to end by providing you guys information on what's coming up next and what I have offering for the future. Let's get started. So how does this anger thing work? Okay, so our emotions lay in our amygdala, which is about midway, and about this point, midway in our brain and in the inner part of our brain. And they're these small little almond shape. There's two, one on each side. They're connected. They are really small and they have a big job. That's where our feelings lay, right? And their job is to identify threats. And once our body has sensed the threat, boom, trigger button. Boom, our bodies can now instantly go into self-preserve, right? Self-preservations. Our bodies from birth are naturally wired, right, that way for self-preservation. And so we are wired to react before we even have the opportunity to consider the consequence of our action. It is instinct, right? I like to think of it of when if you put your hand on something hot and you jerk back right away, right? Like that's how instant it can be. And so like this part of our brain right here, the prefrontal cortex, that's our decision making. It's our executive functioning. That's where we stop and rationalize things and we think before we do. All of that is right in here. And so when anger hits that alarm threat, right, as a threat is perceived, anger hits that alarm button in the amygdala, our body and mind instantly overrides this part of our brain that says, let me stop and think about that. We instantly react, right? So your body on anger, you start to feel your heart rate increase, your face might feel a little flush, your blood pressure rises, your breathing increases. You know it, guys. You might feel really tense, you start clenching or you're frowning, right? There's like this tightness. It's in the body, your blood flow increases. That's your body getting ready. It increases throughout your body, the blood flow, especially on like limbs, because it is your body's getting ready for physical activity, fight mode. You become super hyper focused and laser locked onto whatever it is that triggered your anger, whatever the body perceives as a threat. That attention gets narrow, it's locked on that target. So interrupting that anger cycle that is natural, that natural response, that knee-jerking response in our body, the way that we do that is we have to teach our brains to interrupt the anger cycle in our body. And the way you do that, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. and it takes intentional practice. You do that by practicing self-awareness and mindfulness. Self-awareness, practicing like what's happening with you right now in the moment. What's happening in your body? What feelings are you feeling? Being thoughtful about what's happening right now in this moment. And then practicing mindfulness activities, which is bringing that awareness into that present moment. Practicing self-regulation activities, the mindfulness, the self-awareness, labeling emotions, right? What is it that you're feeling? Where do you feel it in your body? Progressive muscle relaxation, that's practicing the tightening, like maybe tightening up here, tightening your shoulders, and then releasing them, bringing attention from the head all the way down to your feet, muscle by muscle, each breaking it down into pieces, your knee, your foot, your calf, your toes, breaking that down and bringing that awareness and relaxation, relaxing your body, practicing deep breathing, practicing pausing and taking a break, noticing that you're feeling angry, taking that pause, going somewhere to take a break, and then coming back. All of that over time is going to rewire your brain to stop overpassing, right? Overriding this rational part and just that knee-jerk reaction, right? Of the threat response. It's going to learn over time how to respond more calmly. And you practice in the calm. You practice when you're not feeling angry so that your body and brain knows what to do when you do start to feel upset. So those are my tips. Okay, we're going to jump into what is it that pisses you off. So if you haven't already, pause the video, go ahead and get things to write with. You're going to need more than one piece of paper, some things to write with, right? Get yourself your drink, whatever you need, right? We're going to jump into identifying what is it that pisses us off? What makes us so mad as a parent that our child does? Okay. So we're going to list at least 5 and no more than 10 behaviors your kids do that set you off. So we're talking about behaviors that truly get your blood boiling. And you have that, you transform into that non-integrated, tame Hulk, right? I've seen that new Hulk where he's still the Hulk, but he's calm, cool, and collected. You're turning into the other Hulk, where you are Wreck-It Ralph in it. You are damaging, and there is ask questions later, right? Or pause and see the damage is done. We want to think about those like times that we're that angry. What is it? So again, no less than 5 and no more than 10. And I want you to think like those behaviors that cause you to lose your temper. Once you're starting to write down that list, I want you to be slow and intentional in noticing what is happening in your body. Do you feel tense? Are you frowning? What's your heartbeat like? What feeling or feelings, right? What feeling is popping up as you're writing down these 5 to 10 behaviors that really set you off? So go ahead, pause the video, take your time. And while you're doing this, I really want you to take your time. When you come back, now that you're back, I want you to pick your top 3. Your little star or get another piece of paper, write your top 3. And I want you to list the why behind the behavior. List 3 to 5 of each of those behaviors, of the top 3, the possible whys to the behavior. So an example of the possible whys, right? Like, what does that mean? the possible whys. What that means is you're going to focus on these considerations and be curious. Where are they developmentally? Is their brain capable at this stage to do the thing that you expect them to do with no issue? What needs are they trying to meet? What is happening before the event, that behavior that sets you off, and what is happening after the event? How is my parenting affecting the event or affecting my child? Did I set a limit? Did I help with transitions? Was I being consistent? Am I practicing consistency? So when you go back and you write 3 to 5 reasons why, the why behind the behavior, and you're just being curious, right? I want you to use those questions, right? And before you start that, I want to give you some examples, right? So let's say the situation is you told them to get off their tablet. And when you asked them to do so, they said, okay, but they kept playing or whatever else, right? Maybe they were like, yeah, whatever. They didn't get off the tablet. And that's the thing that really sets you off. So being curious is, maybe they're having fun, so they don't want to get off. Maybe that was the why. They were so wrapped up in the fun. Maybe they didn't hear because you didn't tell them that they had to get off. You didn't tell them to stop what they were doing, to look at you and repeat back what they said. You didn't ask to make sure that they actually were paying attention to you, right? Maybe they're 7 years old and it's part of their development to try to test their boundaries as a problem-solving skill. And that they need to learn that I mean what I say and ask them to stop when I ask them to stop the first time, right? So are you being consistent? Maybe 3 or 4 times you told them to get off and you tell them and you tell them and you tell them and tell them. And the 10th time, now you really mean it and you're raging and you've snapped off on them and you've taken the tablet away. Maybe you've shown them that they have up to 10 opportunities before you do say that you do what you actually say you meant, right? Are they 5 years old and developmentally, maybe it's normal that transitioning to the next activity is hard for them. They need help, right? Maybe they needed help with the transition signals. So maybe that was one of the whys, right? We talked about maybe we're not being consistent with setting limits. Or are they avoiding what's going to happen next because they're scared or they don't want to have to do the next expected thing, right? And by fear, they could be legitimately scared. Maybe you guys are going, I don't know, rock climbing, and they're afraid to do that, right? Or maybe they have a chore that they keep making mistakes on and they're afraid to get it wrong. So they rather keep doing the other thing, right? So we're practicing. What is the why behind the behavior? So now it's your turn. Take 10 or 15 minutes or whatever time you need. Pause the video and go do that activity. Okay, now that you're back, how did that feel, guys? Hopefully that helped you have this more than an aha moment, but really be able to think with intention and be curious about your child. So now stop and look over the list of the why behind the behavior and notice now how your body feels. Now, when you look at your list of the why behind the behavior, pause the video and write down what you notice. What does your heartbeat feel like? How are your muscles feeling? What is your face doing at this time? So go ahead and pause, and I want you to write down what you're feeling now when you look at the why behind the behavior. And I want you to notice the difference and compare the first list and what your body was feeling and doing when you were just listing off the things that made you feel upset that your kids do, and then what you notice, if there was a difference, and what the difference is when you were able to be curious about their behavior and trying to figure out, like a scientist, what is going on? What is the why behind the behavior? See what you notice the difference. Again, this is a great time to pause and reflect, right? Once you're done pausing and reflecting, go ahead, come back, right? We're going to talk about how to keep cool when you're ready to pop off. We're going to create that game plan. Okay, so here's where we're going to need some more paper, guys. So keeping calm. You want to have a game plan for practice, right? There's so many different analogies. If you're a coach, right? Any type of basketball. I coached basketball for high school and middle school. You want to have a game plan of what the games are, right? You can call out the strategies. What do we do if they're doing a full court press? What do we do if they're playing man-to-man, right? Are they doing zone defense, right? All of those things, so that we've practiced it enough so that when it's time for the game, we know what to do in that action, right? So here we go. You're going to build a list of activities that you already do that help you stay calm, or that help you calm down, or things that help you do a forced pause. A forced pause is something that literally makes you stop. It could be a signal. It could be a sticky note. It can be a sound, a bell, something that makes you go, oh, I need to stop right now. It could be something that you do or someone else helps you with, right? What are your favorites? What help you make a quick change, right? So is it the timer? Is it the soothing music? If you listen to 1 minute or 30 seconds of ocean waves, does that make you have a quick shift, right? Is it practicing deep breathing make you have a quick shift? What is it that helps you have that quick shift? I want you to create a list of 5 to 10. And if you've got more, awesome. Do more. But for starters, if it's hard to come up with, do 5 to 10. I've got some ideas, so here they are. You can pause and place a hand on your heart and your belly and take deep breaths. You can do regular deep breathing in through your nose, like you're smelling a flower, for 4 counts, and out your mouth, like you're blowing bubbles, nice and slow, for 4 counts. You can do imagery work, imagining a peaceful, calming place you've been to, remembering the sights, the smells, the taste, the feeling, sensation, the sounds. Maybe you let your kid know when you're going too hard. That's my favorite. Story time. My kids know that it is okay for them to be my practice pause, to signal it to me. Sometimes the signal is, Mommy, take some deep breaths. Okay. Sometimes my kiddo, my teenager, will tell me, Mom, you're going too hard. My tone, I'm really angry, right? Mom, you look kind of like a scary monster. Okay. All of those pauses of, it's time for me to take a break, to take a minute, right? Do a few minutes or 30 seconds of movement, stretching, jumping jacks, tensing your muscles, releasing your muscles. Take a short walk, listen to a fun song, write in the journal for a few minutes, right? Practicing labeling emotions. So there are some ideas. You can go ahead, pause the video, and take as much time as you need or want to write down these calming down strategies. I'll see you when you get back. Okay. You're going to pause. Oh, we already did that one, huh? All right. We're going to go ahead and jump into showtime. Tips when things don't go as planned. Okay. So when things don't go as planned, you just weren't able to calm down quick enough. You said some things you wish you wouldn't have said. You shouted at the kids. You're working on using a calm tone and you just really went off and you shouted. Maybe you said a bad word. Maybe you projected your feelings onto your kiddos. Maybe you gave a really excessive consequence that was not related to anything other than, right? Sometimes it's the satisfaction that we feel, right? I like to tell my teenager clients or preteens, uh, if there's like the temptation to fight at school, right? I always, when we're doing problem solving, I'll tell them to list their problems, how they can solve something, right? Doesn't good or bad, just write them all down. And then we go through each one and we talk about, what are the consequences, good or bad, of each choice if they were to make that choice. Oftentimes it's, well, punch them or fight them will come up, right? And something I always say, it might feel good, right? A positive consequence might feel good in the moment, like, it felt good to do that physical thing. But long-term consequences, it wasn't good for us, right? Maybe we get in trouble. Maybe we really hurt that person or we really hurt ourselves, right? So I say that because maybe we're working on not spanking, right? Maybe we're working on, there's so many things we can work on as parents, right? Whatever it is that you're working on, you blew it. You Hulk mode. You broke their toy, their favorite toy, right? One of the best things that you can do is practice a repair and do a repair. So a repair is when everything is calm. You're going to go talk to your kiddo or your kids, and you're going to apologize. You're going to say something that sounds like you, but staying within this frame of, I'm sorry that I broke your toy, for example. Right? I should have not have done that. It doesn't matter that you didn't take out the trash. I'm making it up, right? It was my job to manage my feelings. I'm going to keep working on doing better. Then you ask them how you can make it right. What do they need from you? Ask them how they felt while it was happening. Try again and role play how you would have wanted to respond to the behavior trigger with them. Do a do-over. Get a wand if you got younger kids and be like, magic wand, rewind, have a rewind button. Show them that they get to do this too, because you get to give them do-overs too, right? And you're also strengthening and rewiring in your brain what to do, right? You're practicing what to do, how it should have been the first time, right? And then you make amends with the example. If you broke the toy, right? Can you glue it together? Can you purchase them a new one, right? Whatever you need to do to make things right when you ask them what they need, right? So that's doing a repair. Okay, guys, that was the end of my mini parenting master class about managing our frustration. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out to me to any of my social media accounts on TikTok, on Instagram, or by Facebook. You're also welcome to join my parenting Facebook group, which is called Not Your Average Parenting Facebook Institute. So you can find me on there. I would love to hear from you. Love to hear your feedback on what worked, what didn't work. But what I want to tell you guys about that I'm super excited as well is I'm launching a series of things coming up in 2023. Specifically, what I'm most excited about is my Worry Less Parenting group coaching program that is going to go on sale. There's going to be pre-sales going on where you'll get a pretty good discounts, and then you'll even have a discount for paying in full. But let's hear about this program. I'm super excited. So the Worry Less Parenting coaching program is designed to teach families how worry works and how parents can manage their own worries while helping their children learn to worry a little less, right? This group coaching program it's twofold. You, the parent, receive coaching on how to help yourself and help your children learn to build confidence and combat that worry. So because I specialize in treating clinical anxiety, one of the things that I see a lot in my work is giving parents education. So if we take This is a lot of therapeutic work that therapists do, is we spend a lot of time in sessions giving education, education, education. Education is not the same thing as therapy, right? We're just giving you knowledge from our expertise. So the great thing about this coaching program is that you get to have access from a professional who specializes in working with anxiety, but I won't be providing any therapy. But I'll get to provide you the knowledge about how anxiety works in the body, in the brain, in kids, and in adults. And having that knowledge is powerful and transformational. The other thing is that as a specialist who works and specializes in working with anxiety, I know it works, right? So when you enroll in the 6-month Worry Less Parenting group coaching program, you're going to get the following from me. Since I know it works, you're going to get 6 months worth of group coaching and support. You get every month 2 live virtual group parenting coaching calls per month. You get each month 1 pre-recorded mini masterclass per month, providing worry management strategies and education. So I'll be teaching coping skills, ways that parents can speak differently in the home to create an environment that is less worrisome, right? I also will be providing 1 virtual live accountability check-in that is also going to have a Q&A where you can just pick my mind on what's been, a struggle for you as a parent, and what's been going on with your kiddos that you need some help in, right? This program will also have customized program handouts and resources just for you and your family. You'll also have access to the Worry Less Parenting Facebook group so that you can engage with other parents and build community with other parents in the program who are going through the same thing that you're going through, and you guys are working together all at the same time. You get accountability and community support. So this program, because I want to be able to provide as a sense of individualized support, I'm limiting it to 15 participants. And there'll be 2 groups. And those groups are on Thursday. There'll be one at 12 noon Central Time and one at 6 p.m. Central Time. And so the live consultation, the live calls, all of the live calls will be either you can select some group at 12 noon, or you can select the group that will meet at 6 p.m. But a lot of people ask, like, what will happen if I can't make the group? Although it is a commitment, and I strongly recommend that the biggest benefit is you being there live, and that is the expectation. Obviously, things come up, emergencies or situations. Don't worry. I will have, just for the group, these calls will be recorded, and you will be able to access those afterwards. And it's just you guys. So I'm so looking forward to this program. And if you want more information, you please feel free to sign up for my newsletter. And you can do that by typing in www.victoria-valdez with a Z. So Valdez, victoria-valdez.com, and you can sign up for my newsletter where you'll get information about upcoming things that I'm doing, upcoming classes, all of that kind of stuff. So thank you so much for being intentional and working on you. The biggest gift that I tell my clients all the time, the biggest gift that you can give your kids is working on yourself. If you can work on yourself as a parent, work on being calm. If you can work on managing your emotions so that you can respond less reactive, then your children will also learn to do the same. You get to be someone who is breaking generational cycles, right? You get to be the strong link in the family and for the generations to come. So I cannot wait to meet you. Thank you, guys.